Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm your host, TruePowerIsMine, and this is TPIM SR Live. Today's date, May 25th, 2019, the year of our Lord. I want to start off today's show by thanking you, the fan, you, the listeners, TV viewers, everyone out here. It's been one heck of a roller coaster the past 2 years. I'm so honored and humbled to play my role. Now, let's get the show started. We got some chatters in the chat box. Today, I want to start right off by talking about planning, preparing, and surviving. Real quick, for those who are interested, we busted 1.2 million watch time minutes the past 28 days, 52,000 views, 141 and 77 cents monetary, and we're 2,646 strong on this glorious day. From here, I want to take it to a bit of reality piece. What's up, Brother Al? Welcome to the show. I know it's late. I'm getting a late start at it. But we're going to try and make it happen regardless. Let me pull this down just a little bit. This is coming from Brother Will. Oh, no. Brother Will. Let's play it.
All right. Many times I done been out here and checked out this devastation in just different parts of Florida, Mississippi, different places, different hurricanes. You never really can feel like the people that live here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, straight turmoil. Shit fucked up. That's all you can say. It's gotta be fucked up. You really don't know what that feels like. And don't really want to know what it feels like either. We've been going sun up to sundown for about 5 days now. And fatigue's starting to set in. For a couple of the guys, I know they getting wore out. Yep. But they're going to have to get broke in. We got at least a couple more weeks of sun up to sundown before we can even slow down. We ain't been here long enough to slow down yet. I'm still on go mode. I'm the oldest and the fattest out the crew. So I'm going to keep giving them shit about being young and weak. It's 2 months after the hurricane, and these folks still living in fucked up conditions. You know, they don't even show it on TV no more.
I know.
Like it's over with. Like everything down here cleaned up, like everything good. From the outside looking in, you probably think these folks got it back together. A light bulb went off in my head. They say Comcast want us to get all this wreck out, right? It's to the point that now they got us wrecking out wild, just so they can make Comcast happy. Comcast got tons and tons and tons of wreck out at their yards. You know what they're doing with it? That's when the light bulb went off. Ding! They scrapped it. They're trying to get some of their money back, man. I can't think of no other reason. Why the hell? This ain't even Comcast. They know this ain't their stuff. They don't use these taps. But I gotta wreck this fan out right here for free. Or they gonna back charge me for not wrecking it out. That is crazy. Just getting off. I'm tired as hell. I think I had 2 hours of sleep yesterday. I didn't get no 2 hours. I probably got 45 good minutes. About to hit this hotel, take a shower, and fall out.
The reason why I wanted to show y'all that is because the sense of devastation. Now, this was 2018, but the sense of devastation. And the fact that those men didn't come out there and rewire all that. There were no more lights. You better have a generator or solar panels or maybe an aquifer system. Speaking of which, I'm just going to share this right now. I was going to try to do some crazy little graphical video, but I'll just draw it out for you guys right this second because I think it's going to probably be that important that you're going to need to have these ideals to think outside the box. Let me get this line size. All right. Now, imagine having, let's just say this is the terrain. All right. And you got water here. That's all water. You put a suck pump right here with pipe going back up the hill. All right. And then you have like a collector or whatever, I guess. Then have another pipe coming down. And then at this point, install a water turbine. Have it power going to a battery. Wire going down here to the suck pump. And it would feed itself. And then you can have wire going for usage over here. And that would be independent energy without having to worry about the sun being out. One concern obviously would be in a very cold climate, the water itself would freeze. As long as you have a big enough pipe, and I'm talking about like a nice 2.5 inch, 3-inch pipe, PVC, the whole system. Constantly going over this water turbine, constantly generating electricity. Like I said, you can have it going to a power battery pack system. You can break it down for different applications. Say you want to use the CB, keep it the energy for that, and if you want to say charge up your phone or whatever. But that was just an idea I was thinking earlier today during my morning meditation. All right. But now, where was it at? Oh, no. Can't believe that. Hold on, guys. There was a story. There was a story in here I found very interesting. They might have already took it off. I think they might. I'll check the second column. Oh, no, there it is, right here. Do you guys remember this from the atheist video? Remember when I broke it? I don't know if I think I did. One of the very first series. He was talking about, the atheist guy was talking about this guy's boat here, right? Now, to show you how this foolishness is going to be played out. Hold on. I want you guys to see that doggone headline. But probably won't be. Owner of biblical replica of Noah's Ark sues over rain damage. And then they have in quotation mark And it wasn't even 40 days and 40 nights. They're trying to be funny. The reason why I bring this up, you have to be very careful. Okay. I want to bring up somebody else. Another video I saw. And this isn't an attack on nobody's beliefs or faith. But you gotta understand. Yes, I watched a few videos. It was Kung Fu Day today. Let me see. No, I went too far, I think. Yeah, I went way too far. Oh, man. Well, I did not mean to do that. I think it was The Rock. Newman Show. Anthony Brown. Okay, this one. Okay, this one right here. Check this out, guys.
Some of my best ideas come when I'm dreaming.
Oh, no, we don't want to see none of that garbage. Oh, no. Come on. I'm having all kinds of trouble tonight. All right.
Our guest is this hour, that it was quite possible that you might learn more about your religion, much about history, than you have in your entire life. My guest this hour is Anthony T. Browder, called many things: chematologist, if I'm saying that right, author, cultural memory specialist, someone who has taken more than 20 sojourns to Egypt, and has been someone who has looked at man's history from the onset of time, and who brings a unique...
Okay, I don't want to do the whole spill. Let's get into this. What this dude's talking about.
I guess last year, absolutely brilliant. I asked him the question. I said that...
Hey, Brother Derek, Brother Nick, both in the show. Welcome, y'all. I'm going to set this up for a second because I don't want a copyright strike. And by the way, the past several videos I put out has basically the yellow $sign, limited monetization, if any, which is fine. I'm just saying this, guys, so basically I'm just getting this off my chest. I don't feel what I've been saying has been that provocative, rebel rousing, or any of that. I think it's been just basic information, informative. I always tell everyone, think for yourself. Stop being followers of whomever. Follow thyself within reason. Within reason. You know, don't get carried away. But let's get back to what this gentleman's saying. Anthony T. Browder. And it's going to be provocative.
In the Bible, it talks about Jesus as having hair like lamb's wool and hands and feet like burned brass. Mm-hmm. Now, if one takes that just about in any form, it would sound to me like he's talking about someone that looks more like Johnny Cochran looked than Howard Cosell looked.
For sure.
Now, on that particular subject, what color was Jesus?
Well, the issue is Jesus was a person of color. He was not a European. He was not a Caucasian. Egypt and Ethiopia, and I mentioned more in the...
So in that respect, when you hear the atheists talk about Jesus not being real, yeah, absolutely. The image that's on the card, the image that's on those plates, the image that's on the clock, the image that's in the memes, all that's fakery. Once again, y'all, it's written on your heart.
the Bible than any other nation. There's no part of the Bible that takes place in Europe. So it's a book written about people of color by people who lack color. So what people traditionally have a habit of doing is inserting themselves wherever they would like to see themselves. So whoever controls the image of Jesus controls the world. And that's one of the reasons why he's been presented throughout the world as non-African.
You know, I read something, and I want you to finish that point. Pardon the interruption. But I read something recently that said, until the lion writes the story about the hunt, until that time, the hunter will always be glorified.
Exactly. You know, one of the mistakes that we make is believing that everyone who has written the Bible was writing the word of God. There's no truth to that. One of the other mistakes.
Did you hear what the brother just said? Now, this is like the first step down the total atheistic road. I'm just calling it like I see it, yeah. Sister Gloria, welcome. All this can be rectified by people actually wanting to serve God instead of wanting to serve themselves, wanting to serve their agenda, wanting to enslave and abuse and exploit other human beings. People would just sincerely and honestly want to be a servant instead of the master.
Mistakes we make.
Okay, now you make that in itself is an inflammatory statement to folks who approach this world, that the Bible is the inerrant, literal 100% word of God.
That's not true. And anyone who has studied the Bible knows that that's not true. If you talk to any theologians, people who have gone to school specifically to learn of this text, they would tell you that there are over 500 different versions of the Bible, this one book. There's over 3,000 different denominations where people have separated from other religious institutions because of how they interpret this text. The Bible, as we know it, is a book that was written by man. As a matter of fact, the Bible is comprised of 66 different books that were written by 66 different people over a period of 2,000 years. So this notion that one person sat down, inspired by God, and wrote all of these books is an unrealistic notion. And again, anyone who has studied the history of this subject matter would know that.
Then that really, you know, I come from a world of, part of what I've done in my life is I've come from the boxing world.
Mm-hmm.
That particular statement knocks out much of the premise of religion as it is taught and studied in modern times,
right,
and past times.
Sure. Well, if we were to use a boxing metaphor, most of the people who claim to be religious are really shadow boxing.
Shadow boxing.
They're in the ring by themselves because they don't know what God is. All they know is what someone told him God is. And that's really the biggest issue that we're dealing with. If we're honest with ourselves, if we're truly honest with ourselves, then we will acknowledge the fact that most of the people who read the Bible probably read the King James Version of the Bible. And the King James Version.
All right, and right here, guys and gals, ladies in the house, I want you to really listen to what he's about ready to say about King James. And, you know, he never cites a source, but what he says is, once again, very provocative. Now, this is all for new people who's never seen the show, first timers, trying to ease them into this.
Version of the Bible is the most adulterated version, one of the most adulterated versions in existence. Most people read the King James Version of the Bible, don't even know who King James is.
Well, which begs the question: if you're reading the King James Version of the Bible, you should attempt to know who King James was.
Well,
and how do you answer the question, who was King James? Give us a little bit about him. Give us his biography, if you will.
A short analysis of King James. King James is a man who would make Adolf Hitler look like Santa Claus. King James was a murderer. King James was was known as being a rabid homosexual. He was often called Queen James by some of the members in his court. And what he wanted to do was to write an official version of the Bible that validated his worldview. King James comes out of the Church of England. And the Church of England was established because the King of England didn't feel it was necessary for him to take directions and instructions from the Pope. So they broke away from the Roman Catholic Church and created their own church. And so essentially what you have, if you look at the history of Christianity as it exists right now, is that whenever a specific powerful individual agrees with the mandates to come down on high, they simply walk away from that church and establish their own church. That's why you have over 3,500 different denominations. Martin Luther in Germany protested what the Catholics were doing. He posted his Reformation.
Don't you love how they say what the Catholics were doing? What do you think it was the Catholics have done? Do you think it's the same kind of shenanigans that we got going on today? You know, with all the accusations, lawsuits. See, when we get into these organizations, it starts getting pear-shaped rather quickly. Laggy on your end? Who knows? Who knows why? NSA, CIA, FBI, MI6, Mossad. Hey, does anyone know the Chinese Secret Service organizations? I bet you Google don't. What's up, Bird? Chinese secret organizations. No. Oh, damn it. Chinese government spy organizations. Oh, they just got simple shit. Ministry of Security, Chinese intelligence. So they don't have like the CIA, FBI, KGB, whatever. That was just a side trip. I'm extremely tired, y'all, but I'm going to make sense out of all this madness. Whether we go into World War III next month or not. You know, the reason why May's probably really leaving is so that she could be safe in the bomb shelter. You know what I'm saying? She's crying because, oh my God, the global elites are going to save me. These fools think I'm weak, but the global elite, they're going to save his sister. You know that's what they're going to do. She's going to just disappear while the rest get vaporized. And you can take off running if you want to. Those bombs are no joke. Now, the Iran-Trump showdown. Brought to you by Goldman Sachs. No, I'm just playing. Just playing Goldman Sachs. You guys do other things. You know, this is more likely the handiwork of Standard Oil or British Petroleum. Because after all, that is the second largest oil reserves in the known world. I'm going to tell you something that a soldier from the 80s period of time told me back in the day. We were sitting there drinking one day. He goes, you know, those Arabs over there think they got us over the barrel. I'm like, well, yeah, they kind of do. You know, we kind of like riding around our cars, don't you? Gasoline. And he said verbatim, dude, we're going to drain them dry, and then we're going to tap into our oil over here. Leave them nothing. That was back in the 80s. And don't forget, that was after the 70s where we had that concept of peak oil. Apparently, peak oil hit like in 73 or something crazy. The world's reserve of oil from that day basically is starting to dwindle. There's less and less oil. They are expecting another recession to hit the U.S. sooner than later. Worse than, of course, Bird. Of course. What have I been telling you for day one? Donald Trump is what? A closer. He closes down companies. That's why he was the right man for this job. He had 5 successes underneath his belt, and he still come out looking like a millionaire or billionaire or whatever heir he is. The bottom line is we are slated for deletion. I mean, I just want to really put it just that simple. Yeah, he's bankrupt, but so is this country. Bankrupt leader, bankrupt nation. Oh, hold on. Just for anyone who thinks that was some sort of fake news I just said, U.S. debt clock. I just want to, I love this resource right here. Okay. Hold on. I want to get all this in frame so, no one can say, oh, he's manipulating a video. Okay. Hold on. Let me get a drink of water for this. All right. Brother Albert, you owe, as a U.S. citizen, $181,646. Brother Bird, as a U.S. citizen, you owe $181,646. Brother Nick, I know you're going to have some sort of protest, but as a U.S. citizen, you owe $181,646. And you can look at our past videos, brothers. It ain't been doing nothing but going, oh, hold on. Sister Gloria, you thought you slipped by. No. $181,646, ma'am. Make that payable to the U.S. of A. Most of us don't even have the $67,000, $847 that every citizen should pay. Now, this is what the people who are working going to pay, but this is what everybody needs to pay. When you really think about it, for every child that's born, that's less debt for the rest of us. We get to spread the wealth out. So every abortion's really driving up how much we ultimately have to pay, because all this trillions of dollars is calculated on your labor, the nation's labor. So as we're killing them babies, and I said kill them babies, it's just another, I guess, check mark for the application of destruction. I remember in history class when we were talking about the Greek Empire and the Greek city-state structure. They talked about Athens and all the others, and then we got to Sparta. And one of the most savage things about Sparta, because I was as a child, I thought, I just looked at them as, just little basically kingdoms, pretty barbaric and ancient. But the fact that they would take the malformed and I guess non-useful individuals from birth and toss them off a hill to die, pretty damn sad. It kind of lets you know why Sparta's not around no more. And I wonder if Athens is not, in fact, the Vatican, though. That somehow these Greek boys, when they were taking the knowledge of Zeus, Hades, and Poseidon to Rome, which they become Jupiter, Saturn, and I forgot what the Romans called Hades. The thing is, we're seeing another paradigm shift again, guys. So for this time, we're not talking about no longer believing in Bel, no longer believing in Xerxes, no longer believing in I guess, Zeus and all the boys. And, to a certain degree, Osiris and crew. Because you'll be pressed. Not saying that they're not out there, but you'll really be hard pressed to really find a devotee of any of those ancient religions. But now the final shed is about ready to come. This video shows last week about how the earth was created. I guess that means that God didn't do it in a week. Look, all I'm saying is what is known will be destroyed. I mean, and it's not me. I don't want it to be destroyed. Honestly, I want us to live together. I want it, peace, power, and unity. You find them at every Christmas, Halloween, etc. This right here better hip you again to what's coming down. Once again, brothers and sisters, you may think of me as, oh my God, why is he talking this, try to be pious stuff, and try to be a servant to God and trying to, unify and build something strong that will outlive us all. You are slated for deletion. You keep on keeping on, keep on playing these games, and that is going to be somebody's daughter-in-law, somebody's wife. Disgusting. Hold on, let's get this back. I don't know what's going on. Now it's not going to play it right. Wow. I wanted you guys to hear this robot. It's creepy, man. And it's sad that some human being thought that this would be a good thing. Yeah, see, I got to redo this whole page. Hold on 1 second. I want you to hear this thing because it's creepy.
What do you think of Donald Trump?
You know, I don't like to judge anyone. What I know is that current President Trump was not expected to win the election, and that he can be very controversial sometimes. I think we have to wait to see. Everyone deserves a chance.
I don't know about y'all, but I heard a lot of jiggling and jostling sounding in that mouth there.
What do you think of Donald Trump?
I don't want to play that thing again. Copyright. I'm sure. That's all they scream. Do you mean I can get rid of my wife and marry a cyborg woman? Where do I sign up? Not. Look, I'm saying, you think that if you think that this is the most advanced looking robot out there, you're sadly mistaken, man. Remember that old TV show, Man from U.N.C.L.E.? It was way back in the day. There was an episode where they would take off the face and you would see like a little recorder in the face itself built in, like they were androids. These things been around for a hot minute. Now they finally releasing some of the patents to let littler guys build them. I guess what they got clones now. This is a joke. Well, what happens, Brother Al, when you take a genetically augmented human being and put advanced robotic components in it as well? I mean, from birth, like the thing is grown around a microchip, and they're adding components as limbs are being developed. Then you have the ultimate warrior. It can be human So that could sate the leader's carnal knowledge, and then it could be totally subservient due to the cybernetics and literally remote control this human being. You know, some of those stories, those ancient stories about brutal kings and warlords, I hope you guys realize a lot of that's coming right back to the world. Make the earth feudal again should be the new slogan. Make the earth feudal again. Because we're just going to end up with a couple of city-states. Bunch of warlords and chiefs. It's going to be a celebration. And unfortunately, a lot of people are going to pay. Now, I want you guys to see this story as well. Once again, there's not going to be no story about your particular plight, folks, in North and South America and the rest of the world. But we are going to be concerned. Jews warned against wearing keffas in Germany. Kifas, whatever. The little hats are telling other little hats, Brother Leonard, welcome to the show. Telling other little hats not to go out, as if that even matters. And I hope you guys are really aware of what they're really saying here. See, don't forget, at least in Germany, all they got to do is remove their little hats and they're good to go. Brother Al, you're not so lucky. Brother Leonard, you're not so lucky. Brother Bird, you're not so lucky. Sister Gloria, you're not so lucky. You hear what I'm saying? And the same people who would do harm to the Jew, they would do harm to you as well. Hope you guys really hear what I'm saying and what Mark's been trying to tell us and others been trying to tell us over and over. Because of the lack of love for one another. Because of the lack of understanding for one another. There's going to be more bloodshed. Until people understand that on this planet, what really matters is power. What really matters is the ability to inflict your will on other human beings, whether it be willingly or at the end of the sword. That's all that matters. The rest is niceties, good morale boost. You know, go out into the world and be peaceful. But at the end of the day, if you go out into the world and the world clubs you over the head and throw your ass in chains and make you into a slave, perhaps you might have been better off just staying at home that day. Now, I only tell you this because this came out May 25th yesterday. And I don't know how much news do you guys watch, you know, on your local TV. I would imagine some days you probably hear me talk some craziness and then see it actually appear in your local news. Well, that's because I like to talk about current and relevant issues in that respect. And I believe I already showed you guys this. And who do you think is going to be tossing your asses into trains? Bam. I want you to see the red on here, guys. The red does not represent Trump voters. The red on this map represents distressed areas. Meaning that large amount of the population in these regions live in poverty. Let's zoom in, shall we? Oh, I can't zoom in any farther. Well, actually, that's pretty good. We don't really need too much more, do we? All right, let me get this up here. I don't know. Let's throw out some states. All right, I want to make sure that that's pretty much in view. Everything. I mean, we're missing California, but we all know that's a basically shithole anyhow. Now, right here in the greatest state in the union, Missouri. No, just joking. You can tell St. Louis is prospering, Kansas City's prospering, Jefferson City's prospering. But oddly enough, if I could have zoomed in even more, you would notice down here in Springfield, it's not really profit. I mean, Springfield's more in this area. So Springfield's in that purple. And if you go up here and you look at what it means, distress is red, at risk, middle tiered, comfortable, and then prosperous. Look at Oregon. Look how prosperous they are. And then you got Colorado, and a lot of the western states are actually doing really good. But as we all do know, the bulk of the population lives in this region. This big old swath. Look at Mississippi. Another fabulous state. Look at all that distress. Now, I don't know what county that is, but this county's doing kicking ass. It's prospering. But you would think all these counties along the Mississippi would be doing really well. But they're all in distress. Let's go on to, hold on, to Florida. Look at Florida. Only in the middle of the state is it in distress. The rest of it's prospering or comfortable. Now, the panhandle region's kind of, poor. All right. Well, the flooding, but don't forget now, Brother Nick, a lot of this, the Army Corps engineer has done a lot of work through this area, and a lot of that flooding is needed to keep all that farmland down there fertile and, nutrient rich. So flooding in itself isn't a bad thing. It's actually a good thing when we know about the flooding and we build appropriately to the floodplain situation. Now, if we go farther up the Mississippi, moving north, you see that it's prosperous, like especially here in Missouri. A lot of these, a lot of these counties bordering the Mississippi River are comfortable or prospering. Now, that's St. Louis. If we go up, you don't see no distress up north. None. And it floods all throughout the Mississippi. All right? So you're coming down, and then Missouri's like the border. Once again, Mason-Dixon line, literally. There was Vicksburg area, by the way. Oh, Vicksburg. Okay. Well, now that makes sense. And then look at Texas. Now, you would think down here along the Gulf of Mexico, all that would be popping. All that should be prosperous. But it's not. If you really look at this map, you can see a disparity between the South and where do most of the black folks live at. And this is what I'm really, I'll just tell you guys what I'm really trying to get at. If you really look at the majority of black folks still live in the South. If you look at the depressed areas, I bet you Vicksburg County here, I bet you it's a high population of non-melanization. As you go up farther north, the proof's right here in the pudding. Go out west, look at California. Look at it, quite literally. Bloom, 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 all that. Beautiful. That's LA. all those little beach towns, San Diego. But even look at poor Alaska. This whole area up here where no one lives at, that's prosperous and or comfortable. And all this is depressed. Where are the natives at? And then look at this. Hawaii, the Big Island. That is not prosperous. That's in, danger. It's not in bad, but it's in danger. That's Madison County and Hydes County. Okay, let's jump over here seriously to Mississippi. I called this right here, and perhaps Brother Al can give us some geographical insight. All right. I want this to really be now I'm sorry for the blurriness, but you guys know what you're looking at. Right there. Do you not see the triangle of pain? 3 states, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi. Right there where they connect. It's like a triangle of devastation, of poverty, misery. Have you ever been to that region, Brother Al? Tri-state. Have you been to the